Good evening, Fanboy Frenzy Army. This is Ryan Jarvis, and I'm here to bring you just my initial thoughts on the Kendall Jenner Pepsi commercial. Obviously, it's been sparking a lot of controversy over the last few days, and for good reason, actually. And what we're going to do is we're just going to watch it together, and then I have some thoughts I want to kind of share while it's going on, and also, when it's all said and done. But it starts off like any other commercial, as you can clearly see. I have no idea what the hell they're doing. Why is that guy up there playing by himself? Come on, really? Join the conversation, one of the signs says. What else do we got here? Okay, so just like pop culture today, obviously the religion of Islam, in terms of the liberal circles, has become a protected group, a protected class. Um, you can see it in a lot of the media. You can see how they portray, Muslims and usually in a good light, especially in commercials and in pop culture nowadays. And I guess there's some good reason there. I mean, after the Twin Towers occurred, oh so many years ago, it's been one of those things where our culture's kind of looked down on Muslims, and there's a lot of people in the country that feel like all Muslims are terrorists, but oftentimes that type of logic is really pretty absurd, just because of the fact that the most killed group, other than Christians, at the hands of radical Islam is other Muslims. And so you can clearly see here that using the hijab and that push towards diversity in these commercials is definitely what they're going for here. Now obviously they have the Muslim woman as an artist in here, which is great. I mean, we strive in America, in this great nation, to be able to do pretty much whatever we want to do. If you have the talent and the gift. Now this right here is amazing to me. I think this right here is so endemic of the problem in American culture today, because if you see this is the prototypical issue with not just liberalism but even extreme conservatism. As you can see, there's clearly a movement going on. This lady, Kendall, in this particular, issue, this particular situation, this bitch ain't got nothing. She don't know what the hell's going on. You know what I'm saying? So like, she's just posing and shit. She got no clue what is going on right underneath her nose, or fuck, for this matter, 20 feet from her. I think that's really endemic of what's going on in our culture today. Because number one, I don't think people are really paying attention worldwide what's going on, especially in our own communities. But also the fact that, as you'll clearly see, the minute she sees something that looks a little crazy, all of a sudden what? Now she feels like she should go take part in it, which, that's supposed to be democratic. But she don't know dick, clearly, by what's going on later in this commercial, what the situation is, what the circumstances are. But it's just really placating. I mean, look at these people. Look at this. Like, what are they rallying against? What are they against? I mean, is it because of a lack of diversity? Persecuting people of different color? Was it a crime committed by a cop? Was it one other Black Lives Matter thing? Like, there's no explanation here. It's just so buzzwordy. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it's like the fucking worst type of I guess you could say expressionism on behalf of Pepsi here. Like, what does this have to do? What does the dancing and all that have to do? Like, if you're pissed enough to go out and rally, are you going to dance about it? Or are you going to get a sign and get your game face on? Like, I don't understand what this is trying to do. It's almost like now she's going to pull her hair off. Okay, so now she's going to be real and wipe off all the falsity. So there's another question. So does that not also kind of speak to our culture being so fake? Oh God, the Pepsi. Now, you know what? If this shit was a cherry Coke, I would get it. Like, I can understand that. Or a venti white mocha from Starbucks. Hell yeah, dude, it would calm all things. But look, so she's going to venture out, and she's going to give this to the officer. Question is he going to take it? Is he going to take it? He took it. So now all things are good. They're going to cheer, fist bump. It's all good. Because now, of course, they had to have the gay couple. So far you got the white-looking black kids, you got the punk rock girls, you got the bitch with the purple hair, you got a lesbian couple. I mean, you pretty much ran the gamut on this. But you know what? Now we understand. If you want to live bolder and louder, you just have to what? You have to drink Pepsi. Oh, for God's sake. Where do I even start here? I guess the first thing that I would mention is, you know, the issue with this commercial is that it really trivializes the movement in terms of civil rights. I mean, I saw a tweet from one of Martin Luther King Jr.'s family members that are still around, still exist. I think it may have been a great grandchild or something to that effect. But they were just talking about how, you know what, if only our family, if only Mr. King, if only our blood would have known the power of Pepsi, maybe he wouldn't have had to die. And I think that is so powerful when we sit and think about this, is the fact that this type of a commercial oversimplifies what the clear issues are in this country. You know, a lot of times people are out rallying and shit for no reason. I mean, I go back to these Women's Day parades that happen, you know, January, was it 21st or 22nd? They were out there rallying essentially because of Donald Trump. Now, if you stop for a second and think, okay, so what rights did you have on January 19th that all of a sudden January 20th you did not have? Please explain. But there was nothing. There was no clarification about what the fuck the movement was even for. And this particular commercial, in my opinion, is what's wrong with our pop culture today. You know, we jump all over the taglines. I mean, shit, dude, I've even watched Arrow and Supergirl episodes that are basically knocking conservatives and Donald Trump, you know? And it just comes down to, you know what? I think that these people are tone deaf. I mean, they really are. I mean, look. So, again, we go back to this particular part of it. She's so fake, man. You know, who she was portraying is not even who she really was if you base this commercial just, you know, off of the pacing of it. You know, she's basically telling you she's fake. She don't know what the shit's going on out here. Like I said, 20 feet from her, bitch don't know what's going on. But all of a sudden now, she thinks that she's just going to grab a Pepsi, walk on up, and boom, there you go. There you go. Solves it all. If only problems were solved that easily. And, you know, I think that's really the issue. I think there's a Salon article I was reading, and I posted to fanboyfrenzy.com, that I thought was really good. And it just talked about emotional intelligence. You know, the idea of the ability, rather, of people to be able to decipher between opinion and fact. And we don't see a lot of that today in our culture. You know, you still have singers and artists talking about a wage gap between men and women, when really the numbers, the data don't show it anymore. It showed it 30 years, but that shit isn't relevant anymore. They push the narrative of, you know, cops are just hunting down black kids, when really white people are killed 2 or 3 times more than blacks. Actually, blacks are killed by other blacks about 90% of the time, you know, according to the statistics. You know, a black male is basically, it's a 90% chance that he'll be killed by another black male if he's killed at all by a gun. It's just numbers like that. You know, the left, the liberal left, or the progressive left really have issues with facts. You know, they just push narratives and shit. And I think this commercial, in my opinion, is endemic of that problem. The fact that, you know, they're trying to push this narrative that we can all get along, and that something as simple as a fucking can of Pepsi can fix the real cultural issues that we have. Whether it's radical Islam all over the world, which is burning the world on fire, you know, radical Islam, which made Christians the most martyred group last year in the entire world. Or whether, you know, even radical Islam that killed Christians just today, you know, in bombings in churches on Palm Sunday. And so, you know, over in, I think it was Egypt. So, you know, you see that there's very real issues. Now, culturally, you know, I know that people like myself who try to look at things from a centrist perspective, I know that if you watch our videos here, especially myself, you know, you'll probably think that I'm real hard right. But really, I'm not. I call bullshit when I see it. You know, like Trump sending you know, bomb strikes without constitutional approval is yet another war, essentially, that's undeclared. We haven't had a constitutional war in America since World War II. And so I call bullshit on everything. But Kendall Jenner, I got to call bullshit for your virtue signaling and creating these buzzwords and really having no depth of knowledge or understanding in terms of what the hell you're talking about here in this. So please, everybody, if you haven't watched this video, I just want to make sure and point one thing out. Look at this. Now, granted, I don't always go by ups and downs, you know, by likes and dislikes, because I think, you know, sometimes people will bitch, and I've even had videos where I thought the video was done well, but there was a lot more thumbs down than or dislikes than likes, because people didn't like what I was saying. It happened on my video where I talked about that, you know, the new conservatism is, or conservatism is the new public enemy, I think is the way I word it. And you know, some people that were watching it, unfortunately, they just didn't like what I was saying, you know. But so I'm not gonna put a ton of stock in it. But to be honest, man, when the shit is 5 times more likely to be disliked than liked, I think there's a problem. And the bottom line is this: Americans are tired of being virtue signaled. We're tired of having deep discussions politically and socially dumbed down to 30-second sound bites. And this shit right here is endemic of the greater problem. So Fanboy Frenzy definitely gives this the big middle finger. And quite honestly, I think it's an embarrassment to Pepsi to have put this type of money into it. But the bottom line is Kendall Jenner got paid, and I can't hate on her for that. I like the idea of trying to bridge the gap culturally in America with some of the social issues that have been going on. I think we do need a peace movement. But I think it's a hell of a lot more likely to come from someone like Dr. Martin Luther King than Kendall Jenner. Until next time, this is Ryan Jarvis, founder of Fanboy Frenzy, and we'll see you soon.